Hello and welcome back to your Sunday night show with your host Usman Akhtar. As you can see, Baka has returned. I think it's because Chelsea won, so he's wanted to come back. No, I'm joking. Baka, how are you? You okay?
I'm good, not bad.
Good to have you. Good to have you back with a bit of a positive, result to back you. And also, Junaid is back here, of course, the resident Man United fan, as well as about another 100 other guests that we've had. How are you, Junaid? You okay?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me again. How are you?
I'm not too bad. It's obviously a pleasure to have you both back, of course, as always. Just before we get into the show, I just want to quickly say that obviously the show is also on Facebook Live. So if you want to get involved, get your question in to the boys, and we'll try to answer as many as we can as we go along. But yeah, so first and foremost, got to talk about the biggest game of the weekend. So Chelsea v Sheffield Wednesday, of course. No, I'm joking. Man United v Arsenal, two mid-table clubs playing against each other. What did you make of the game today? Man United winning 3-1. What did you make of the game?
Man United played very well. I think they came with a game plan was to be patient, a wait for the mistakes and capitalise on them, and that's what they did. And the first ball from Lukaku was a killer ball, and the finish amazing. I think that just killed the tie. Yeah, Arsenal played well, didn't create much. I think that was just a vintage Man United performance.
What about yourself, Baka? What did you make of it?
It was a good game. I think Man United had the right tactics in place to hit Arsenal on the counter because both full-backs were committing, and Lukaku, I think he had a good game, even though some people disagree. But
we'll get onto that
later on. But yeah, I think it was a good game. I think Arsenal did create a lot of chances, but there wasn't a killer instinct.
So would you put it more down to the fact that Man United were more ruthless than, or rather than the fact that obviously we dominated or anything like that? So
I think you had better quality up front, and when you got the chances, you took it. Arsenal looking for that beautiful goal. Something for that we probably have done this season. Too many passes rather than a shot, or they weren't clinical enough. They
were trying to pass into the net.
Pass into the net, yeah, basically. Yeah.
Do you not feel like, obviously in the past with Arsenal in particular, they've had that sort in their locker under Wenger. You know, I can remember many times when they used to have that Nasri, Fabregas, they were criticised for trying to pass the ball into the net. Do you feel like they kind of haven't got out that, instead, or do you put it down to the players haven't got the confidence?
I think Arsenal's philosophy is what you just said, to pass the ball into the net, but they've got the players, but I think the players don't have the mentality. They've just been brought up to pass the ball. When they get into that final third, I think there should be more shots on the net.
Yeah, for me personally, watching the game, and obviously basically what Junaid said, I'd echo that. Like, we executed the sort of the tactics to perfection, really. Obviously counter-attacking, practically what we did against Spurs. Sorry. Just one thing I would say about Arsenal's forward line. Do you think they're too reliant on Aubameyang and Lacazette? Because I'm not sure what the stats are off the top of my head, but I think Iwobi is their third top goal scorer, which you say is quite. I'm not, obviously someone correct me if I'm wrong, but do you think they're too heavily reliant on Aubameyang and Lacazette?
I think they are. I mean, if you look at that midfield, it's a bit flat. I mean, there's no creative spark. They kept Ozil kind of getting the team, and Ramsey's joining Juventus, and I don't see how. Ozil's your creative spark. He's the one that creates things and gets things for them. And I can't see how. I don't understand how a player that's leaving the club, and a player that wants to stay at the club, is a player that the player that wants to stay at the club is sitting on the bench, on the bench on games. Yeah. I think if you look at that Arsenal team, I think they're short of goals in midfield, and the pressure is on Lacazette and Aubameyang to deliver. When the goals don't come from Lacazette and Aubameyang, if you look through the Arsenal team, you don't see anyone that can score.
But do you not? No, I 100% agree. But like, obviously your comments about Ramsey first and foremost, I 100% agree with that. I think I said it last week. In fact, I just think it sends the wrong sort of message to the rest of the squad. Like, obviously most Arsenal fans want Ozil to play, and rightly so, because he's one of the better players that they've got, if not the best player that we've got. But just so other players in the squad, obviously there's other attacking players that they could put there. What kind of message do you think it sends to them? So for example, just say it's Chelsea, very similar to Hudson and Doves, who will touch upon that shortly. He realistically should be playing over the likes of Willian, because like, we don't really know what the situation with Willian is. He's been linked every other summer. Do you think well, in this sense, do you think Emery not deserves, but should get a bit of criticism because his sort of squad management's not right there, really?
I think, yeah, when he does play Ozil, he plays Ozil in the midfield, where Ozil, we spoke about last show, we won't go into too much, but his defensive abilities are not great. So when you're playing Ozil and you're playing with Xhaka, it doesn't help, because Xhaka spoke about many times. He doesn't. He plays the ball side to side, but defensively he's found out too many times. And then you got Torreira and Xhaka, which works. But I think to play Özil, Ramsey, Torreira have to play in midfield with him to complement him, because with Özil in the team, Arsenal do struggle with they like to press in the team and they like to track back certain players, but Özil can't do that. So I think Emery's dropping him for a reason, a tactical reason, because his work rate is not good enough for the team.
I understand what you're saying, obviously, regarding the work rate and stuff, but for me personally, like, we spoke about it in the past, there's so many examples, Hazard for example as well. Realistically speaking, do you really want Hazard tracking back? Like, for me personally, under Jose, I know there's a lot of people criticising the Man United players, saying, oh, the down tools for Jose, etc. And we'll obviously touch upon that later. But do you not feel sometimes that the managers need to take that risk to allow a player like Ozil to have that sort of freedom to express themselves and not worry about defensive duties?
That's the thing with yeah, they do, but the managers need to choose the right place to complement a player. So Xhaka's work rate is not exactly the greatest in that midfield. So when Arsenal play a lot of passes, and then when they lose the ball, as the Man United game we saw, they was opened up very quickly with a few passes. Man United didn't have to put many passes together to open them up in midfield, because there's that lack of energy, and that's what we struggled with at Chelsea. And Rio Ferdinand then rightly criticised Jorginho if Kante was in that role, or if Ramsey was playing with Xhaka, would that have happened?
Yeah, what do you reckon, Janine? Because obviously we've had a similar situation under Jose Mourinho. Obviously was not playing to play his strengths. The likes of Pogba on the bench. I think we had a midfielder like Fellaini, Herrera, Matic at one point, and Pogba on the bench. So like, do you think Emery he needs to somehow figure out a system where Ozil's in it as well? Because you can't be leaving a player of that caliber on the bench, really.
But then again, you've got to look at the resources that they have, and the team, the players that they have. He can only do so much. I mean, it's quite difficult to put a player like Özil in there. He's a creative player, but the other players around him are not performing. It's quite easy to blame Özil. So I mean, you've got to look at resources. I mean, he's got to find a system which suits Özil. Özil should be ahead of Ramsey. The fact Özil's committed to the club, Ramsey's leaving, so that sends, like you said, that sends the wrong message out to the club.
It does send the wrong message out to players, because obviously in the dressing room they're thinking, this guy's leaving, he's playing what, 90 minutes in probably not the biggest game of the season, but one of the bigger games of the season, because it's still an FA Cup game. Obviously they're going to want to win trophy, obviously they're all professional players. So just a couple other things as well. Obviously you guys must know loads of Arsenal fans. The ones I've spoken to have said the same thing. Injuries basically. During the Man United game, both the centre-backs went off, so Koscielny went off in the second half. I think at that point it was 2-1 down, but what's his name? Socrates went off just before we scored the first goal. Do you think Arsenal fans, we'll pass this on to you first, Janid, and then obviously you can comment as well on the fans as well. Do you think they've got a point? Like, basically losing both their centre-backs in one game, that's probably why they lost, and obviously Bellerin's injured as well, so.
That's when it comes to lack of resources in the squad and adequate backup. I mean, he's unlucky to lose both his centre-backs. It's quite difficult, obviously, to bring two centre-backs on, and sometimes you need to make a tactical change up front. I mean, it's just unlucky, but there needs to be players that can come on and replace these players when this situation happens. It looks like Arsenal don't have a backup plan.
What do you reckon? Have they got a point, or do you think it's just excuses?
It's lack of resources, yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I think if my analysis of the game was that Arsenal played very well football, Man United was just more ruthless in the finishing. Defensively, they wasn't bad. They just, in the final third, they was poor.
Yeah, to be fair, I agree to an extent, but I agree the fact that Man United were ruthless, because I'm not going to sit here and say we had loads of chances, because we didn't. It was quite a tight game, but yeah, we were clinical. But I don't think Arsenal played that well. Like in the final third, know how Chelsea played against Arsenal? Yeah. I felt like it was very similar. They were Chelsea this time, and obviously we were Arsenal being ruthless. I just thought, like you said, that when they got to the final half, but in general, like, it just kind of reminded me of the way Van Gaal played when he was in charge of United. They were just passing it around, and they didn't really have a chance. Like, it reminds us of the Ramsey chance in the second half. That Aubameyang's chance come from nowhere, really. It's just a defensive mistake.
I don't understand what happened as the game progressed, but I remember Aubameyang playing right wing. I was thinking, what's going on here? Was
it comes back to like them being reliant on Lacazette and Aubameyang. Do you think there's a way of getting them both in the team? And obviously, I don't know, because realistically, you can't have one of them on the bench, and they're both doing really well.
And then if they're not going to service, they can't deliver. I mean, the service got to be there in midfield. The midfield's flat.
I think Arsenal need
There's no
to.
one with that driving run going forward.
Emery needs to reevaluate options. If he's gonna play Özil and play Lacazette over, he has to go into a 4-2-2 maybe, or a 4-1-2-1-2.
But then when they're losing, I mean, when they're losing and Obama and Lacazette having a poor game, who do you turn to at the bench?
They haven't got. That's what they haven't got any
There is no
options.
plan B.
Because to be fair to him, I know just obviously just to play devil's advocate a bit. In Arsenal's defence, losing Socrates was a massive blow for them. Obviously, I know that we prior to Socrates' injury, they were kind of dominating the first 20 minutes. I thought they started better than us. But prior to the injury, obviously they're going to struggle. They haven't got their main centre back. They haven't got their main right back. And then on top of that, your other centre back gets he gets taken off for an injury as well. Do you kind of feel like his sort of hands were tied to an extent? Because obviously he's lost 2 subs for defensive sort of subs. He has to make them now, innit?
Yeah, I agree. I think the full back line is overhauling. I think Socrates, from goalkeeper they put Leno in. He's not delivered. Czech is old now. He's retired. So next year or in summer they need to spend some money on defensive.
They haven't got any money. That's the thing. They
They
can only get the loans. Apparently something to do with FFP. Like
But Kroenke is in some sort of American billionaire.
yeah,
he's
he
like,
is.
can afford
But
players on
he's
loan.
got an American football team that he's got to uphold. To be fair to him, you can't blame him. And obviously, LA Rams are a bigger team than Arsenal, and Arsenal a small club. So let's talk about a bigger club. Obviously, Man United winning 3-1. I believe last week, I think yourself and Aram said we're going to lose. And I said Man United we're going to... Obviously, I'm going to say Man United are going to win anyways. But I was confident going into the game, and rightly so, like you said, with the tactics. What did you make of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Because the last time I spoke to you, you didn't want him in the job. So has your opinion changed at all? Or do you still feel like this... he's still got a long way to go, sorry.
I think I'm going to be eating my words, so I'm going to watch what I say. I think with Ollie, I think he's done a good job, like I said.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more.
We've not had a test yet. We've not played a big club yet.
Proper test, yeah. We've had Tottenham. But
we've had 2 small clubs and 6 smaller clubs. So
I mean, the real test will come when they play teams like Liverpool, Man City.
No,
I think he's done a great job. I think there's no pressure on him. He's come into the club to manage the club to the end of the season, get them through with no expectations. It's a win-win situation for him. He can only enhance his credentials, and I think he's doing an amazing job so far. Hopefully it continues. And the main thing, he's got the players playing again. He's got the players playing the Man United way. That's what we all want.
I think one thing I will say is that we've obviously touched upon it already. Just the tactical now, basically, because obviously done against Spurs. I know we rode our luck to an extent against Spurs, but against Arsenal, who obviously come off the back of a win against you lot, he did outplay Emery really tactically, innit?
He did, yeah. When I was here last week, I thought Arsenal would actually beat you guys because the way they played us, and I thought, yep, they'll beat you guys. But you guys did well. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was very clever with his tactical, with the instructions he gave to his players. When if that was, for example, Mourinho Kolasinac was attacking, Lukaku will be following him.
Yeah, no, absolutely following him back. Yeah.
What Ole says, he said to Lukaku, just follow him a little bit, let him just go past you, and as soon as he's attacking, you got free space. We'll find you. Just stay there.
So do you think
absolutely. It was very bold of him, innit, in that sense, innit? He did take a risk, innit?
He took a risk, yeah.
Do you think Man United actually played well, or were Arsenal poor on the day?
I think Man United played well. There was a video going on social media about the Champions League game when Rooney, Parker, Ronaldo counter-attacking goal.
Solskjaer did say that afterwards in his post-match comments. It's good to see him saying stuff like that as well, isn't it?
It was good counter-attacking football. I think Arsenal, you can't discredit them. I think they played well with what they got. They should have scored more. They could have, but it's the same with when we had the situation at Chelsea. We should score more. We could, but I think you guys did play well because your goals were quality. Yeah,
to be fair, I thought we nullified them. I think Herrera in particular, somebody that who hasn't been very good in the last 18 months or so. It's obviously been rejuvenated as well as Matic as well that we spoke about. Just a couple of other players that we need to speak about. Lukaku first and foremost. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw his name on the team sheet, I'm not gonna say gutted, but I was gutted. No, I don't know. For me personally, I just don't think he's a Man United player. I think he can do a job off the bench. I've got nothing against him, anything, but I just don't think he has the quality. What did you make? We'll start with you, Baka, because obviously I know your opinion's slightly different. So, what did you make of his performance?
Against Arsenal, his performance was good. That pass, when he picked out Sanchez.
Yeah,
If that were
fantastic
David
pass.
Silva or
No,
Eze,
exactly. Everyone would
we'd
be
be talking
about
about it for days. But it was a fantastic pass, and we was here last week talking about Lukaku can't play a pass, and he goes and does that.
it. I know, yeah. So it shut us up nicely.
He shows up nicely, but it was a good ball. I
It was a
think
good finish by Sanchez as
it
well.
was, yeah. I think it was. I think he was creating a lot of chances. He should have took some more chances when you had him
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
for that pass.
What about yourself, Johnny? Like, do you feel like Lukaku's got a future, or do you think it was just one of those games that he had a good game? Or
Well, what you said before, echoing your comments, Lukaku isn't good enough for Man United. I think he had a good game.
I don't think he played well actually. I think he had a good passage like that period, but overall I think he was just making the same mistakes. Although obviously, like you said, with him not following Kolasinac back, obviously he did well in that sense.
But
But,
that was his opportunity to go out there and show Oli that he should be the one leading the line. But I don't think he did that. I think there was a couple of good passes. I think if you look at his overall contribution in the game, what he offered, there's little of it. And still, like you said before, I said last time I was on the show,
Yeah,
Lukaku is not a Man United player.
fair enough. That's
But
very,
you've got
very
to
true.
utilise that £90 million that you're spending. You've got to.
Nah, to be honest, you've got to give credit where it's due in it. But I one thing I will say is I've got to give credit to Solskjaer on this. Is like the team morale is very high. Like you saw with obviously Lukaku scoring, getting the assist. Like his sort of camaraderie with Sanchez, another person that's been struggling as well for form at United as well, coming back to his old club and in the first occasion and scoring, which was beautiful. What did you make of Sanchez's performance?
I thought that was a great game. I thought it was a great game for him. I think that was Sanchez of Arsenal his first season. I think getting rid of the virus in the team makes a big difference, and I think we will
Who's the
see.
virus?
Mourinho was the virus.
I just wanted you to say it.
Mourinho was the virus. And I think with Sanchez now, he will, like I said last time I was on the show, he will kick on, and you will start to see the best of Sanchez.
What do you reckon, Bakker? What do you make of Sanchez's performance?
His mentality was great. Every time he got the ball, boo, boo,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
no,
he lost the ball. He ran and he got his chance and he took it. And I think we've all missed out on a certain piece that Oli excelled Mourinho when I was saying it, that Andy Herrera has to play.
Yeah, Herrera's been pivotal for me personally.
He picks them passes first time.
He's been very, very good. I'm just quickly to brush up on Lukaku and Sanchez. First and foremost on Lukaku, I still think he's got a future at United, but it has to be on the bench because realistically, like you said, it was his opportunity to, sort of state a claim. I just don't think he's better than Rashford at the moment, anyways. And regarding Sanchez, I don't think Sanchez was fantastic. I'd give him about a 7, which is still a good rating. I think he didn't look fully sharp in the sense that just a couple of, like I put Sanchez in similar bracket to Hazard. Obviously he's nowhere near Hazard at the moment, it's not even close, but from what I've seen of Sanchez in the past, I think he's capable of getting close enough to Hazard. So he's got a long way to go. It's obviously good to see them score. We've mentioned striker. What have you made of Lingard? He's basically playing Firmino's role in my opinion, the false 9. Basically, obviously he's not really out and out striker. He's hovering everywhere. He's practically on every blade of grass. So what have you made of that back? It's quite interesting. I've never even thought Lingard playing like that.
I think he's does well. He's direct with his play, gets the ball. He's young. He wants to run. He's full of confidence, and I think he's got a good record against Arsenal.
He scored his 4 in his last 4.
I think in a few years' time we'll break Drogba's record against Arsenal.
What's Drogba's?
I think
didn't Drogba come out of retirement and score again against Arsenal?
I forgot to ask. I think
Galatasaray, yeah.
I think he's got 13 in 12.
Oh, I don't think they absolutely despise Drogba, don't they? Yeah, it was against Galatasaray. Remember, he scored again. What an absolute legend.
He's doing well, I think. Lingard, he's playing well. You give him credit. Him or Rashford are just enjoying the football.
Yeah, no, 100%. Obviously, it's good to see a bit of variation. Obviously, we're so used to seeing the same thing under Jose. He's experimenting with different players as well.
You've got to think in your midfield, who have you got, like resources-wise? You've got Matic, Fred, Pogba, Herrera, but who can get, apart from Pogba in that team, who can get that ball, run out plays and get him on the back foot? And Lingard's doing it well.
Nah, Lingard is definitely. What about yourself, Johnny? What is your opinions on him? Obviously, I'm assuming he's not gonna. Well, you never know in it, but I'd imagine Rashford is going to come back into his number 9. But what have you made of him in number 9 so far?
He played well there. He brings a lot of energy to the team. He wants to drive forward. It just works for him in the big games. He seems to have a knack of showing up.
Yeah, for me, go on.
It reminds me of another player that we used to have, Jason Park.
Yeah,
I mean, not a fancy player, but in the big games he turns up.
Nah, absolutely.
I think with the Lingard, he's a utility player. Wherever you ask him to play, he'll play there without any problems. There'll be no fuss with him, and he'll always bring energy to the team. And he can pick a passer, and he scores them crucial goals as well.
And he dances as well.
And he dances, yeah.
He's danced twice now. But
I think he plays well in that team.
No, I definitely agree. Like, obviously, you saying that he's a big game player. I think in that sense that he massively has upped his game. Every time he played against a good team, he stepped up. But another person that stepped up, Paul Pogba. I'll let you talk about him first, because obviously I'm going to be waxing lyrical. I know my backers. Thank you. Anyways, go on, Johnny, what do you reckon of Pogba?
Paul Pogba, like I said, he's a world-class player.
I've got a comment here. On his days, he's the best in the league. Wasim said that about Pogba, obviously. In his position, of course, obviously. I'm not comparing.
Paul, like I said, Paul Pogba is an amazing player. He's a World Cup winner. We've not seen the best of him. I think he was playing under Mourinho. He was restricted, and we are starting to see the £90 million Paul Pogba that was signed. And I think there's only more to come with Pogba. Pogba is the one that can change the game. He's got them driving forward. He can score goals. He links up well in that midfield. He can break up play. I think he's one of the most complete players in that position in the Premier League. And only given time, he will be up. He will be up there.
What about yourself, Baka? Because obviously you've spoken in the past and you've not really, rated him. To be fair to you, there's not much that you could go off in it, really, in it under Managerial. But do you think it's as simple as just changing the manager, or do you think there's other factors that have come into that Pogba's form? Because he's been a different player, really, under Ole.
He has, yeah. I think managers has made a big difference, and give him that freedom. Like Herrera frees him up because Pogba don't need to sit back. Herrera's got that defensive capability, so has Matic. And I think Pogba's only going to get better. As much as I hate to say this, but he's going to get better because no disrespect.
He's still quite young, to be fair.
He's young, but look at the players he's got around him.
Yeah, I know. To be fair, he's had those players before though. He wasn't shining though.
As Man United progress and they get better quality signing and plays with him, he's only going to excel. He's going to grow.
Speaking of, bringing in players and stuff, like, and just trying to excel the team. Obviously, on Sky Sports, there's been a couple of rumours going about regarding Perisic. It's quite well documented that Arsenal need some width because they haven't really. They've got Iwobi basically. That's their definition of width. We've already talked about Aubameyang on the wing. Do you think Perisic could be the answer? There's rumours first and foremost that we'll talk about Perisic first, and we'll talk about what the rumours are. So we'll let you start because obviously Man United were linked with them quite heavily. I think it was last season, season before. So do you think Perisic can come in and do a job for Arsenal, or do you think he's a bit past it? Or?
I think definitely. I mean, look at the players that they've got. He's a definite improvement, and he can come in there and he can score goals. He can create assists, and I think he will definitely help Arsenal in the crisis that they're in now.
Yeah, but
whether Arsenal are willing to pay the price tag.
It says it's a loan, and also just to obviously talk about the rumours in general. It's a loan and a potential swap for Ozil. So we've literally got 50 seconds. Would you personally do that if you were Arsenal, or do you think that's just silly?
I mean, that would be silly. Giving a player a £350,000 contract a week, I think that would be silly.
And then loaning him out to Inter for Perisic. Do you not think they need Perisic more?
I mean, Arsenal need a lot of players, and I think I don't think that's the answer. I honestly don't think that's the answer. I think they need to keep hold of Ozil, because when Ramsey goes,
that's true. Then they've
got no one there. I think Perisic, a loan deal, I think it would be an answer, but I don't think that's the answer. Swapping Ozil.
Fair enough. What about you said back? I literally got like 10 seconds.
I think you got to think about it. Now he's handing his transfer request. What makes you think he's going to come to Arsenal in the first place? Bayern Munich need a winger. There's clubs out there that he'll prefer to go to. So we'll have to wait and see.
He's starting at Bayern Munich.
Alright, I'm gonna have to cut you off because we just got 10 seconds. Alright, okay. So after the break, we'll talk Spurs, Palace, and obviously Chelsea, etc. So yeah, stay tuned. We will be back shortly. Hello and welcome back to your Sunday night show with your host Usman Akhtar. So after the break, before the break, after the break, we'll be talking about Spurs and Palace. So Spurs doing what they do best this week.
Bottle
it against Chelsea. I'm sure Baka's really happy about that. And then of course they thought, no what, that's not enough. Let's make sure we get kicked out of both cups with 1 week, and they've lost to Palace as well. So first and foremost, Baka, what did you make of the game against Chelsea? So Spurs against Chelsea.
I wasn't happy because I wanted Chelsea to smash him even more, and Giroud should have made it at least 4 or 5-0.
Yeah, it was penalties, wasn't it? You won.
Yeah, one of penalties. I think. Yeah.
But you think you were deserving of the win?
I think we should have scored much more.
Giroud, to be fair to Giroud, I would have loved it Giroud scored, because I was saying to you on the show that I actually still like Giroud. It was weird because his link up for that chance that headed in the last minute was fantastic. Got in the box, beautiful cross. Was it And Dyer crossed it in.
No, it was Emerson that crossed.
Oh yeah, sorry, of course, yeah. Emerson crossed it in, quality player, and then obviously he misses, isn't it?
He missed a
It
few
just
chances.
it basically just subs Giroud up in it. But yeah, so first and foremost, obviously getting through. So congratulations regarding that. But yeah, we're here to talk about Spurs. They lost to Palace again. So for me personally, I just think obviously this is the only chance to come in a trophy. So it's another, realistically speaking, another trophy this season. So do you think Poch is to blame, or do you think there's more factors? What would you say,
I don't
Baka?
think you can blame Poch. You know, the team, they're losing. I said it last week on the show, Spurs are going to feel while Chelsea are feeling without having a striker up top, and it's difficult. You can't rely on your midfield to pull you out of games all the time. They haven't got Son, and he's back now.
Yeah, that's a massive boost for them,
Massive
really.
boost
Innit?
for
You
them.
can play up front, can't
They
you?
can play
Really?
up front, yeah, and then they got Lucas. I don't understand why Lamela was playing. What was he doing in that team?
Who?
Eric Lamela.
Lamella.
Yeah,
Lamela.
Lamela. What was he doing in that team?
Lamella. Yeah,
What was
he's
he
good.
doing in that team, man?
Yeah, but they have to
He's a good
play
player.
someone.
He's a good player.
I think he's a decent player.
He's a
to be fair.
decent player. Decent
I think
player.
he's a good squad. He's a good squad,
good squad player.
You've got to have those kind of players as well, and I'm sure you guys got loads of them players.
Yeah, but-
Like you got Drinkwater, haven't you?
Yeah, but we don't play him, do we? So he didn't play today, so I
Well,
guess
waste of 40 million.
How much?
It's 32 million.
Alright, we're not going to technicalities.
40
What do you think, Junaid? Do you think Poch is to blame, or do you think it's just a matter of prioritising the Premier League sort of thing?
I think Poch isn't to blame. I think with their squad size, they've got a very small squad. Didn't strengthen this summer. The Spurs really haven't kicked on, and I think they are more focused on the Premier League, maintaining their top 4 position. I think that's why it's priority for them.
Yeah, it's just speaking of the top 4. Do you think, like I've said it quite vocally, like in the last couple of weeks, do you think they're in danger of slipping out of that top 4? Because obviously at the moment, like we spoke about, they've got a lot of injuries. Son's luckily but Son's a massive boost in it coming back. Do you think they've got a danger of slipping out of that top 4? Or do you still think they'll be alright? They're still 7 points clear, I guess.
I think Spurs will be. I think something's going to give for United to get into that top 4. And I think Chelsea, the most likely team to drop out. I think Spurs will just nick the top 4 position.
Right, okay.
Whether they finish third is a big question. I think they will finish inside that top 4.
For me personally, like, I've said this like a few occasions. Like I think it's easy for us to say that Spurs are going to finish top 4 because they're currently there. But I just think the way the momentum is switching at the moment. Like you see with obviously Chelsea, they've got Higuain now. We'll touch upon him shortly, how he got on obviously against Wednesday today. But I just feel like the momentum's not with Spurs at the moment. Obviously they've got a lot of injuries. The club's on the down. Obviously Man United on the up, but it's just in general, I just don't think they've got. It just comes down to Poch as well. Do you think he's bottling it as well in an extent? Because like he's come out of 2 cups in literally 1 week. For me personally, the mentality as well at Spurs, I think if they do drop points in the next couple of weeks, they can't handle pressure. It's so clear that the players, they're very young as well. But for me personally, I just think they're going to bottle it again.
But they found another Harry in the team, Harry Winks.
They
I
have,
got them out of jail last game.
He did get him out of jail.
all it takes is that one performance like that, one individual performance like that.
I thought they were
Kick
lucky
the whole
to be. I
season.
thought they were lucky, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I'm trying to say is that do you think they have the mentality to get over the line? Because it is quite tight. Because realistically speaking, if they do lose, just say, or even if they draw, that would mean Chelsea are what 2 points behind them. Man United would be 5 points. And there's so many teams behind them close.
They're gonna struggle with Harry Kane because how many times this season have you seen that ball go into the box and Kane's latched onto it and he's scored or he's won his head to it?
Yeah.
Can Son do that? In big games they will struggle, and last week I was saying Chelsea won't get top 4, and I would slightly say 50-50. I think it's either between.
I think you're very close in it. I've said in the past I'm not sure Chelsea will get it either, but
I think Spurs with losing Kane now, they've got some tough games coming up.
Watford's not easy. Man.
Watford's not easy. Watford's a good team.
If they can get past the Watford game, then I'd think I'd be more like, oh, they've got a chance to stay in. But
And if they slip up against Watford, then
that's what I'm saying. Then it's the mentality. Do you think they've got that battle?
we've got Bournemouth as well away, so it
That's
is.
not the easiest game, is
It's
it?
a win-win situation. For you guys, if
Yeah,
Watford
true.
was
But I
lose-
suppose no games given, and obviously Man U got Burnley and also got Cardiff. We'll touch upon the fixture shortly. Just a couple other things that you've spoken about, the lack of strength in depth. Do you think that Pochettino's got a bit of a predicament on his hands? Because like, let me give you a scenario, right? Just say you're an attacking mid player. And you're looking for a new club. Pochettino approaches you, says, look, we want you at Spurs. we want to sign you, etc., etc. Do you think he's got much of a leg to stand on? Because like at the moment, for me personally, as a player, if I was a player myself, I wouldn't want to go to Spurs because I can't play in strike because Kane's not going to get dropped. I can't play in cam because Dele Alli's there. I can't play on the left, Eriksen's there. I can't play on the right, Son's there. So do you think it's more down to the fact that he has sort of an issue and they're having to resolve this issue that players looking to come to Spurs, they don't want to come because they know they're not going to get gamed. Like even in the defence, realistically speaking, they're solid.
I think Pochettino will leave, and the Spurs are a club that if they don't win anything, the players will leave. Eriksen's on radar of many clubs. Many clubs want Eriksen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think to be fair, he needs to go to Real Madrid. I think they need to replace Modric, don't they?
And I think Pochettino might go to Madrid as well. So Spurs, if they lose Pochettino and Eriksen, as you said, who wants to come and sign for them? And it's only a matter of time. It's think of Dortmund, the way they got dismantled. They lost Goetze, they lost Lewandowski. Spurs will lose a few players, and before you know it, they'll go back to the old Spurs with, you know, just average players. Unfortunately, that's all they be.
God, what about yourself, Janet? Do you think Poch can do anything to change that? Because like I said, if you're an attacking mid, you're like, I'm not gonna get a game over Dele Alli. I'm not gonna get a game over Eriksen. If I'm signing for Spurs, I'm gonna be sat on the bench. Do you think he could do anything to change that? Like obviously encourage players to come and say, like, are you all gonna play minutes, sort of thing.
That's where squad rotation comes into play, and I think it's down to Spurs' lack of ambition.
Would you think that was Patch's fault, though, or would you put that down to something else? Because at the end of the day, he has to control the squad. Like, he's not really doing that.
I think it's the club's fault more than anything. I think Poch should have bought a few players in. I mean, they had a brilliant season last couple of seasons, they had brilliant seasons, but they're not really kicked on. Spurs haven't really improved.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, obviously I hear your point, but what I'm saying is, how are they going to buy in players, right, if Poch isn't guaranteeing those players that they're going to play? Yeah. So for example, Loriente is going to come in, he don't mind sitting on the bench because he's quite old, he's getting to that end of his career. But players like, just say, what's his name, Malcolm, for example, that they're linked with at the moment, I don't think they'll get him, but players like Malcolm, how's he going to say to Malcolm, oh, you come and play for us? And then Malcolm's going to say, okay, that's fine, where am I playing? He's going to say, well, I can't guarantee you're going to play. But to be fair, realistically, give me sat on the bench, Malcolm, because I've got Eriksen on one wing, I've got Son on the other wing, I've got Dele Alli, I'm not going to drop any of them for you, mate. So, do you not think there's a way of he needs to take some sort of responsibility for that? Because, yeah, I understand they haven't got the funds, but you have to, for me personally, it is a two-way street. Yeah, I understand Daniel Levy's, like, I'd say 80% Daniel Levy's fault, but you've got to look at the way, obviously I can't really compare to Alex Ferguson, but the way he used to deal with the squad and rotate and keep everyone happy in the squad. Do you think Poch is keeping everyone happy in the squad? I just don't think he's rotating it enough.
I mean, he's heavily reliant on a couple of players like Harry Kane, Dele Alli, Eriksen, and when these players get injured, there is no plan B.
But this is what I'm saying, and this is the problem now.
I mean, that's where paying the salary and breaking your wage structure brings in these players.
Yeah, but like you see with Chelsea, right? Obviously, you could criticize Chelsea for all you want, but at least he rotates Kovacic and he rotates them with these players. Like he gets the game. Some games Barkley's playing, Pedro's playing 1 week, Williams playing next week. I don't know. For me personally, I think Poch has to take a bit of responsibility in that sense because like he hasn't really rotated the squad enough. Like he's not really like. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, in the sense that if you're a new player trying to.
That's where lack of ambition comes into play. There's no ambition with Spurs to go on and win anything.
I don't.
They're just content with top 4.
I think it's just Pochettino. He's got his favourite players and he wants to use them, and he's not the man enough to say, look, I'm sorry guys, you guys are doing well, but today you're sitting out.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
How do you drop players like Harry Kane when he's going to score 20-odd goal season?
But when you're playing against Cardiff like today, we played in the FA Cup. I know it's Sheffield Wednesday, but give the other people on the bench a chance. Like drop in a few games when Kane scores 2 goals and the game's over.
You're not going to drop Kane though,
you won't. But in some games, when you're winning a game, just make that decision to bring Kane off and give someone time.
This is what I'm trying to say. Like for example, there's been many occasions that they're 3-0 up, 4-0 up. He doesn't bring no one on. Like he'll bring people on, but people like. Like, players like Harry Winks, for example. Like to be fair to him, he's been coming on. Lamella will come on. Players like that. So it's not too bad. But what I'm saying is that players like Lamella, realistically speaking, is never going to get a game. Like he's hardly ever going to start.
Lucas struggles to get.
Like that's what I mean. Lucas, he did that thing against Man United. He was absolutely destroyed us. Where is he? Like I know he's been injured and stuff, but that's what I'm trying to get at. I just feel like he does need to take a bit blame for that. And if he goes to Real Madrid, how is he going to keep all them players happy? He's not, is he?
He's not good.
Ben is moving on to another manager who's obviously managed at elite clubs. Manchester City 5, Burnley 0. I'm not going to talk too much about the game. I want to talk more about Pep Guardiola. We've spoken, well, we will speak more about the FA Cup itself, but just like other teams have, in my opinion, kind of not disrespected, but to an extent disrespected the FA Cup, fielding weaker teams. Was it who lost to Wimbledon? Was it
West Ham 4-2.
This is what I mean. Like, I don't understand why Premier League teams are disrespecting the FA Cup, especially teams like West Ham. You can't win anything. You're like in the same bracket space. You can't win anything. You need to go win a cup. Same with Arsenal. You can't win anything apart from a cup because you're not going to win anything else. So, like, is Pep Guardiola like? He's showing that he has got that that elite mentality. He doesn't really care who he's up against. He saw against Burton, he didn't care. Full strength team, get the job done. He's done the same thing against Burnley. Full strength team. Do you think he deserves credit for that, or do you think he needs to blood the youth a bit as well?
I think it's Guardiola's a manager that doesn't like to fail. I mean, when he first came to the Premier League, he got a lot of criticism.
Yeah,
me
included, of course.
Yeah, a lot of people call him Fraudiola. So they did, but I think this season he's a clever man. He knows, look, I might not win Premier League title, but hey, I'll get a FA Cup. I win Carabao Cup. I won some trophies. Keeps the media quiet.
It's true, but well, I'll let you speak about that first, and then we'll obviously ask you the next one. So, what do you reckon? Is he right to obviously play his full strength team, or does he need to rotate, similar to what we said about Spurs, keeping everyone happy, sort of thing?
Of course, he should be playing a full strength team. I mean, look, if you look at the Man City squad, I mean, if you look at that,
he does rotate really well, to be fair.
If you look at their reserves, their squad size, they've got a player like a world class player in like every position. I mean, Guardiola's coming with this attitude that he wants to win everything, and I think that's the perfect attitude going forward. I mean, there's other managers at other clubs that just want to win the Premier League, but they don't have any backup plan. If they don't win that, they'll still turn around and say it's been a good year.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I think what I'm trying to say is that obviously Pochettino doesn't have the results. So I'm not sitting here for a second saying that Pochettino should be doing. But do you not think he needs to take a leaf out of Guardiola's book? I know he hasn't got the same caliber of players. I'm not saying that for a second. As obviously Man City have to bring in, so for example, if they drop David Silva, they can bring in Bernardo. If they drop Sane, they can bring in Mahrez. Obviously, they haven't got that kind of caliber of replacement. But do you not think, in that sense, he's kept all the players hungry? He's kept all the players on their toes, because they know that if they don't play like 90%, if they don't play 9 out of 10 or there or thereabouts, then they're going to be on the bench the week after. I think for Pochettino as well, obviously comparing to Pep, he's just kind of made it easy for his players. Like Dele Alli and that, he went through such a barren street, didn't even perform, and still week in week out is playing. So in that sense, he's not really his management. It's not there.
Favoritism. He won't say it to a player.
A bit like Jose Mourinho in a sense, isn't it?
But with Mourinho, if you don't play well, he don't care who you are. And he'll drop you. He'll sub you for 45 minutes. You're going off.
But that's what I'm saying. I can't remember a time that Pochettino's just. Obviously, this is just nitpicking, really, because obviously he's a fantastic manager. But for me personally, just to get that mentality of like having that sort of ruthless streak, he has to display that as well, and he has to lead from the front. I just don't, because obviously with Pep Guardiola, you saw with Sane early in the season, I think there's that attitude thing. He literally just said to him, look, you're not playing, I don't care how good you did last season, you're not playing. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Do you think that's the difference between an elite manager and a good manager? Because
there is, yeah. Guardiola keeps the player hungry.
That's what I'm saying.
Where Pochettino is content with the players doing what they normally do, and he needs to drop some of the players and say, look, I'm going to keep in the bench for a few days, come back into the team and show to me that you deserve into that squad.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And he needs to obviously rotate a bit more.
Another thing is we have to be realistic. They've lost Moussa Dembele, potentially all the Whelan's way out in summer. Then other players will follow. Eriksen, if Madrid they'll
get money for Eriksen, don't
they? They would, but they need to use that money wisely. And then if Pochettino thinks about it, my team's crumbling now, I'm losing a few players, I'll go as well. Then what did they do then?
Yeah, obviously it comes back to obviously, you know, are they gonna at a point that they're in crisis sort of thing. But I think it's a bit early to say, and we'll see how they get on in the next couple of weeks. And let's quickly touch upon Chelsea, and then we'll do a couple of predictions for the coming games, because there's quite a few good games coming up. Anyways, I'll let you speak first and foremost. Back, obviously, you're winning 3-0. Was it 3-0 you finished?
3-0, yeah.
Yeah, against Sheffield Wednesday. Goals from Willian, that you absolutely love. You got 2 goals, and then Hudson and Doe, if that's how you pronounce it, got a goal as well, I believe. We'll touch upon. Let's talk about Higuain first and foremost. Or should we talk about the penalty decision that VAR?
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
So what did you make of that first and foremost?
I think the first penalty that was given to Wednesday, it was already by VAR, which was the correct decision.
Yeah.
I think Fletcher hits the back of Ampadu's foot, so it wasn't a penalty. But second one was a blatant penalty. Opposite end, we could have been 1-0 down, and then
It's mad, innit?
it's madness. I
To be
could
fair,
have
VAR in that sense it's done quite well in it, really.
Yeah,
Innit?
but-
It's got the right decision. Innit?
He has, not against Tottenham though, did
Do
it?
you, do you yeah. Do you,
Where was
I'm gonna-
VAR when Salah was diving? Where was it then?
I don't know.
We'll come to that in a bit.
I'll be honest with you, right? I know this isn't. It's a bit random, but I was a bit surprised Higuain didn't take that penalty. I'm not gonna lie to you.
William gave him the ball, and he
Oh,
looked-
did he? All right.
and he
so-
goes, nah, I'm not feeling it. Maybe if I miss it, then I'll get English
Oh.
media. So I'll
He's got a
let you
history
take
of
it.
choking. Oh, yeah, he's got a history of choking.
He has, yeah, we've established that. But I watched him play today. He played well. I think he linked the play well. I think he just needs time to settle in. But I said last show, we haven't got that time. He needs to come in and score goals
But
now.
then again, it was a nice game for him to
It
come
was,
against
yeah.
Sheffield. Obviously, we know Sheffield Wednesday
It's
quite
not a
well.
worrying sign though. When you come into a club like Chelsea and you're missing City, you're missing look at
Not
Arsenal.
really.
I don't think he
I
missed
mean-
sitters.
I mean, you
he had
you
one
sign-
chance we should have scored, but he didn't miss sitters.
But if you see signing Higuain to come in and do an immediate impact, I mean, he should be hitting the ground running. At
Yeah,
Sheffield.
you've
It's
got to
only-
give him a chance. He's only
It's
I
had
think
one
in
game.
3
Sheffield
months'
Wednesday,
time,
no
we need
respect
to
Sheffield
come back.
Wednesday fans. It's only Sheffield Wednesday though. It should be hitting the ground running though. He's
Not
he's been in the
really.
big stage. He should be coming there.
Okay, forget. Obviously, it's not all about scoring. It's about
It's not.
overall performance. You know, what would you say is overall performance out of 10 was?
Today I'd give him 6 out of 10. I think he was starved of supply because
Yeah.
Kovacic, Barkley, Ampadu played in midfield, by the way, so
Yeah.
he's not a midfielder. So he was getting a bit frustrated coming out of his defensive line. But when you got Hazard, Jorginho on the pitch, and Willian,
Yeah, obviously it's gonna be a
He's-
different.
he's
It's gonna be a
different
different dynamic, man.
Hazard
I think you
takes-
can't judge him off
you
the.
can't. I
that
think he
Wednesday
will
game. That's a
score.
bit ridiculous,
I
man.
think against the Spurs game, he must be licking his lips, thinking, "Why wasn't I not playing that game?"
I think he'll score, man. I just
Yeah.
don't think he's as clinical. But he's better than what you've got. So,
He is,
in
yeah.
that opinion, I think he'll improve him. So, just another player that we have talked about. You know, just coming back to Pep as well. My only criticism of him playing the full strength team, first and foremost, I respect him for doing that because obviously he's got respect for the cup. But he's not bloodying the youth. So, obviously, likes of Foden, I believe.
Foden, yeah. But
Um,
Ibrahim Diaz has left as well.
Diaz as well. That's what I
Yeah.
mean, innit? Isn't Sancho from Man City? as well?
Sancho's is gone as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he's from Man City, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gone,
There
he's
you go,
gone,
innit? So there's a couple of youngsters there. I know it's hard for them to get a game in it, obviously. Another person that's struggling for time, Hudson and Doy, obviously scoring today. What do you make of him, first of all, as a talent? And
He-
what do you think Sarri can do to keep him?
he's a good player. Sarri needs to play him in, as we just spoke about. If we're winning a game 3-0, just keep him happy.
That's
bring
what
him
I'm
on.
saying, innit?
Just bring him on. We won the game. It's all we're and done with. Even if it's 20 minutes, let him come on and enjoy his football. Keep him happy. He'll stay. But if Bayern want to pay the right money for him, then it's a gamble because we're a club that we sold players and it's come and slapped us in the face. We sold Salah. He's back doing
Salah,
his thing.
Lukaku,
Kevin De Bruyne.
yeah.
So they're doing their thing. So do we let him go and he becomes a world beater? Do we let him go and say we took a gamble with him?
To be honest with you, right, just coming back to letting the players play, I've spoken about Solskjaer a lot. That was one thing I was happy that Lukaku and Sanchez playing because obviously, realistically speaking, they're gonna be back on the bench. But it does keep them hungry. It does show that obviously they have got opportunities to play. Practically every game they come on at 60th minute, 65th minutes. At least they get minutes. What do you reckon about Hudson Odoi? Do you think there's something Sarri can do, or do you think it's just a matter of these youngsters just need to go elsewhere to develop and potentially get that big move back, sort of thing?
I think it's about keeping these youngsters hungry and then like giving them a chance. Like when you're winning.
Yeah, but how
games.
do you
when you're
gonna-
when you're like 2 or 3 in a row, take another player off and give them game time, keep them happy, keep them, and then obviously in the cup games rotate them and give them as much game time as possible. That's the way forward to keep these players.
Yeah, but yeah, it's very easy to sit here and say that, but do you not think that you've got to give benefit of doubt to managers like Sarri, for example? There's a lot of pressure on these managers as well to get results, and you've got to remember that. So, for hypothetically speaking, if I'm a Chelsea fan, we're 2-0 up, he brings Hudson Odoi on for Pedro, for example, which isn't a bad shout,
It's
isn't it?
not a
Really,
bad shout,
it's
no.
not a bad shout. But just hypothetically speaking, he brings him on for Pedro, and you're thinking, all right, fair enough, whatever, he's trying to blood the youth, whatever, and then the other team scores 2-1, and then you're like, okay, now what? And then obviously the other team go and score another one, it's 2-2. Then you're like, why did he do that? Why did he make that change? So you gotta look at it from both perspectives. It's easy for us to say that, but at the same time, do you think it is as easy for these managers to blood the youth? Because you don't see man is Poch, and I suppose I'm not gonna put Solskjaer in the bracket, but man is Pochettino. Not, I suppose, Klopp to an extent as well,
Extent,
with Arnold and a sort of couple of. But no one actually does it. None of the top 6 managers do
But
it.
how do these players expect to develop? I mean, if they're not in game
Well,
time.
that's what I'm saying. That's
I mean,
what,
the easy option is to loan them out,
Loan
send
them
them out
out,
to another
yeah.
club, another like Championship club, League One club.
do you think
But what did they get out of it? What did they get out of
But
it?
that's what I'm
They're not
saying,
playing at the
innit?
highest level.
But you got to think about it. If you're a Chelsea manager, you got people like Hazard, Willian in the team. At 3-0, yeah, fair enough. You can make that decision to take them off. But can you guarantee a player like Hudson-Odoi starting 11 in our team?
You can't.
You can't know. But
That's what I'm saying. So
we
do you
might
think
as
for
well
him,
loan him out to a Bundesliga team where the football's a bit open on the league and let them enjoy, let
that's
them
Sancho
learn.
basically, innit?
Ah, yeah, bring him back.
There's an Arsenal player, what is it, Niles?
Nielsen, yeah,
Nielsen, that's the one,
yeah,
Nielsen, yeah.
against Hoffenheim. Yeah,
He's
so
doing alright as well, to be fair.
you have to give the youth a chance, but everyone thinks the youth are gonna excel. Not everyone's gonna, you know. It's a gamble, but we've taken too many gambles, and I respect Mourinho in that sense. When he knows he's not giving a player a time, he'll tell him straight, look, you're not
Yeah.
gonna play my team. I'd rather tell you, I'm not gonna waste you on bench, or I'll loan you out.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
What he calls them virus.
No, to be fair to Mourinho,
I respect him for that, but he's done it at Chelsea.
yeah,
He
was
looked the
honest
players
with
in the
players.
eyes. He's not kept them on the bench, wasting the talent. He's
I
taught
think-
them.
I think that's, again, it comes down to man management, and Pochettino, that's one thing that Pochettino is, you know, credited for, the way he's dealt with the younger sort of players. Yeah, just quickly on Hudson-Odoi as well, do you think he's someone that will benefit from a loan, or do you think it's just a matter of him, like, okay, he needs to develop and he needs to move on from Chelsea?
I don't think he needs to move on. He just needs to be patient. He's only 17. He's still
He's not 8, is he 18?
even 18. He's still young.
young,
He's
yeah.
young. He's fresh. He'll get his game time, but he can go to Bayern Munich and he can be in the same predicament now. What does he think he'll
Do
be
you think
getting?
he'll get a game for Bayern? I don't think he will, to be honest.
Coleman and Gnabry will play every game when Robin and Ribery retired this
It's the
season.
same with Gnabry though, innit? Arsenal had
Gnabry.
Gnabry as well. They should never got rid of him. He's way better than what
He's a
they've
very
got.
good player. Gnabry is a good player, but then will he get game time at Bayern Munich? I doubt it. So what's he gonna do? Is he gonna be sat on the bench then? Then what happens there? He'll get
Exactly.
loaned out to Stuttgart or a lower club team.
Yeah,
So
practically. You know.
just be patient, play your Europa League football for a while, and play FA Cup. And just,
There you go, Nave. Hudson-Odoi is listening to that. There's your advice from back end.
that's it.
Okay, so let's just quickly move on to a couple of predictions. We've got like 3 minutes or so left of the show. Yeah, so there's a couple of games midweek, of course, and then if we get a bit of time, we'll do next week's fixtures as well. First game, Liverpool against Leicester. It's at Anfield. So, Janil, what do you reckon? What do you reckon the score's going to be? Who do you think is going to win, sort of thing?
2-1 Leicester City.
Oh my god. Anyways, 2-1 Leicester City from Janil. Okay.
I think it'll be 2-2 until 91 minutes. Salah in the box, he dives, wins a penalty. 3-2 Liverpool.
Wow, that sounds so realistic, to be fair. Yeah, I think, to be fair, Leicester can definitely get joy out of Liverpool's back four, because I think they've got a couple of injuries, if I'm not mistaken, at centre back. I know Van Dijk's obviously still there. I
His leg
just
gets broken.
don't say silly things like that. I don't condone injuries.
Well, we need if Van Dijk gets injured. If Van Dijk gets injured, I mean, it will change. It will reshape.
Oh yeah, if Van Dijk gets
I mean,
injured, if
as
Van
a
Dijk gets
mine,
injured,
as a
let's-
mine, that's an awful thing to say, but I think
I'm not gonna agree with that statement. I'm
Virgil
sorry.
van-
After watching Luke Shaw get injured that time with a
I
broken
think
leg,
I
I'm
think
not gonna
I think
agree with
Virgil
that.
van Dijk need Virgil van Dijk. I think him getting injured will change the
He doesn't need to get injured. I think he just needs someone to mess with his brain and ruin his mentality.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
flying high at the moment. And
Yeah, to be fair, yeah, go on. Anyway.
Jamie Vardy needs to just show him up, basically.
We'll see how they're going. I'm gonna say Liverpool win that, because
Yeah, I
I
said
think that-
3-2 Liverpool.
you said 3-2, you said 2-1 Leicester. I've
Yeah, I
said,
said
I'm
2-1
gonna say 2-1 Liverpool. I'm gonna think it's gonna be a cagey game. Salah and Firmino again. In fact, no, I'll say Mane scores. Anyways, moving on, Arsenal against Cardiff. I believe Arsenal are home. Don't quote me on that. So literally got a minute left. So what do you reckon, Arsenal or
I
Cardiff?
think Arsenal beat Cardiff comfortably. I think I'll be thinking 3-1.
Yeah, what do you reckon?
I think Arsenal win 2-0, 3-0.
I'm gonna say 4-0 Arsenal. I think they're gonna come back. And in fact, no, actually, sorry,
I think
that's
Cardiff
a
a
bit.
poor team.
I think the fact it's saying that Arsenal got no defense in it. So
3-1.
I'll say 3. Yeah, I'll say 3-1 as well.
3
Arsenal.
wins restricted.
Okay, Man United, Burnley. Baka, we'll let you start first. What do you reckon? Man United at Old Trafford.
I think Man United 3-1. 3-1 Man
I'm
United.
going for 3-1. I think
I'm
Man
going
United will still
5-0.
concede.
5-0.
No, I'm
Man
joking.
United will score a couple of goals and they'll concede as
Nah,
well.
okay, fine. I'm gonna say 4-0. We literally got 50 seconds, so we'll rattle through. Okay, Newcastle, Man City.
Man City 5-0.
Okay,
Man City 3-1.
I'm gonna say 5-0 Man City as well. Bournemouth v Chelsea. Chelsea away.
Chelsea 2-1.
Okay.
Bogey team. I'm not expecting more than 1-1.
Right, 2-1.
I'm gonna say 2-1. I'm gonna say
2-1,
Higuain
yeah.
scores.
Higuain
And
scores.
David Luiz scores. Okay, Spurs v Watford. Baka, what do you reckon?
Watford.
What do you reckon?
Draw 1-1.
I'm gonna go. I was actually gonna say a draw as well. I've practically agreed with everything you said. Okay, 1-1. Okay, just last one. Man City v Arsenal. Baka, what do you reckon?
City will win that game. Arsenal got defensive
Just
injuries.
a quick score prediction.
4-1.
Okay, what do you reckon?
See exhibition, I think 4-0. 4-0 Man City.
I'm gonna say 4-0. No, as well, 5-0. Alright, anyways, boys, thank you very much for coming on. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. And just want to say next week won't be on because it's my birthday, so man's gonna be away. Alright, anyways, thank you very much for watching.